What dating sites do you use?
Well, um, now I use this mobile dating app called Jacked, which is for like to meet gay men online. Well, not online, but it's like location based, and it's pretty much to meet like people around you, depending on like where you are, and it tells you like the approximate location, I guess, so that you can like meet up with them and talk. And I kind of also used like Grinder in the past, but I don't really like it. It's really sleazy, so.
Why don't you like Grindr?
Well, I don't like Grinder because for that reason I feel like it's really sleazy, and it's like the majority of the people on there just want to have sex. I mean, which granted, there's nothing wrong with that, like it's your life, but at the same time, it's like a lot of guys will just hit you up like asking you like, oh, like I'm horny, like let's have sex, or they'll ask you where you're living, and that's like their only purpose, pretty much, is to talk to you so that they can sleep with you, which isn't necessarily what everyone wants to do. Sometimes I just want to talk to a cool guy, and there's creeps on there, so I deleted it. I only had it in Spain though.
In Spain?
Yeah, to like meet new, just because I was in a new country, to meet new people, be friends and stuff.
How long have you been using dating sites?
Well, like I said, I started with Grinder first in Spain, and that was like in October. So that was the first time, October 2013, so like a few months ago. And then I deleted it like right before I came back to the United States, and then I got jacked when I returned to the United States because I heard that it was a little bit better, I guess.
What do you put in the info section, like about me or whatever it is on
What
those
do I
sites?
personally have,
Yeah,
or
what do you have?
well, I don't really remember. I
Like, what do you write? Like easygoing and
No,
like.
like I put how like like I'm not really expecting much. I put like I'm like open minded, just looking for like friends and like to have a good time, just meet people, but that I'm not expecting anything. And I also like made a big disclaimer how like if someone else is about me, like the person who's writing to me has like a expression or a description that oppresses other people, I put it like explicitly to not hit me up, because something that's really common on these like gay dating apps, or that a lot of people will be like, oh, masculine men only, or no feminine guys, or I am only attracted to white guys, sorry, or like blacks and Latinos only. And I feel like if you are being discriminatory towards other people, I don't think that's the kind of person I would want talking to me, because that only shows so much about your values. Like, people are really quick to dismiss it and saying it's just preference. It's much deeper than that. So I wouldn't want I wouldn't want somebody who's racist or ignorant to speak to me.
What kind of messages do you get on these?
Well, it's really they're usually, it depends, because I've it's weird. I mean, for people out there that have used these type of dating apps, it's really hit or miss. It's either you can meet somebody who's really really cool. You could have really conversation with you, meet with them, and they're awesome. But the majority of these messages are people being creeps. Like, the first thing they tell you is like, "Oh, hi, you're really attractive. Like, you're so cute," and then they'll ask you to unlock your pictures, which on Jack, it's like when you have like explicit pictures, like, oh, show me your explicit pictures. But I don't have any explicit pictures on there. So if the minute someone asks me for that, I just tell them like, well, I don't have any, and I just stop talking to them. But
Have you asked for anybody's explicit pictures?
in the beginning, like, only, but it's because if they've asked me, so I feel like, well, if they're asking me, why not ask them? But that's something that I seldom, or like I don't really do anymore, only because it's like, no,
Unless they're really hot.
it's like, I don't know. I feel I'm just meeting you and I'm speaking to you. It's like, when am I really gonna get out of it after this? It's like all the excitement, and then when I meet you, it's there's nothing to look forward to, which is part of the reason why I stopped. Like I said, I stopped asking, like, talking to people, asking for pictures or whatever, or I just, I don't know.
Okay, that's
You can take that part out because I kind of just mumbled like the main part.
it's okay. Goes to my next question. Have you been on any dates with people that you've met online?
Over winter break, when I got back from Spain, I went on like, I would say like two, and I mean they were okay. Like, they weren't bad experiences. It was just I personally wasn't, I guess, attracted to them. I like they were really nice to talk to. They were really friendly, but like I just didn't feel like a connection, I guess, or I feel like it wasn't second date worthy.
Mm.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't really anything like a bad experience. Like we go out for drinks at like a bar, like to dinner, you know.
Has anything weird ever happened to you on a date? Like
In
something
general, or as a result of dating, the
like
dating.
in general. I
Actually,
mean,
no,
like,
I'm lying. I met up with this. Oh my god, I met up with this one guy over the break, and on the website on the app it said that he was 18, which I was a little bit, I'm 20 years old, but I was a little bit hesitant only because it's only 2 years, but I mean I was like, well, what if he's not mature, But anyway, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, you know, go for it. Turns out when I go to, when I'm speaking to him or when I go to like, we're figuring out how we're going to like hang out. He wants me to pick him up from school, and it was a high school. But I'm like, well, he's 18. Then later when we're speaking, he tells me no, he's actually not 18. He's 16 turning 17. And after that I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Well, I mean, there's nothing, I can still hang out with him. There's nothing bad with hanging out with someone that's 16." But it gets even better. Like after a while, like he keeps asking, like he keeps trying to make out with me, and keeps asking if he wants to go to, like if we could go back to my house so that we can hook up. And I keep telling him like, no, like I'm not hooking up with you. I don't want to hook up with you. Not only are you like underage, like I just met you, and I'm not trying to hook up. It was just so bad. I mean, it's something that now I think is really hilarious, and I I can't help but smile because it was just so bad that it's funny. It's one of those stories. But at that time, I was like, really, like you lied to me about your age. It's one thing to lie if you're overage, like, oh, I'm not really 25. I'm like 24. I mean, I'm 22 or I'm 20. But he was underage, like. I can also imagine as well, like the other people that he's been talking to that have probably been much older, because for the most part, the demographic of the guys on this app, they're like in their like mid 20s. Some people my age, but for the most part, they're like adults, so much older adults.
okay, why do you use online dating?
Well, initially I started, like I said, when I was in Spain because I wanted to meet new people. I was in a new country. I mean, I had friends that were in my program, my study abroad program, but I also wanted to like interact with locals, and I felt that that would have been a way to start, a good way to start. I mean, like I went to bars and I went out. I also interacted with people, but it's a long story. But it didn't necessarily go the way that I wanted it to. So I figured, well, why not, try an online dating app, and it didn't go too bad. Then I figured, well, maybe I can have one here as well, because I'm single, kind of bored, but like I stated earlier in the question about me, I'm not really looking, I'm not expecting out something out of it. It's kind of something that I just have to have, and if I see somebody that I think is attractive, or someone hits me up and we happen to have a pretty good conversation, it's like, why not? But it's not like I'm on it, like actually looking, like scouting, stalking people to see if I can find someone that, you know, would be my match, or that it could be my soulmate. Because I feel like, well, actually, no, maybe in little like scenarios like that, you might find somebody that could be worth it online. But I'm not trying to find the love of my life on online dating. Like I think it's highly unlikely.
So in Spain, did you like make more friends than dates on the website, or were you just on there for anything?
I was kind of on there for anything. I would say made more friends because a lot of the guys there were really creepy, and they were really blunt. Like they mostly wanted sex, and like I said, I'm not having sex with somebody that I just met a few hours ago on a on a mobile dating app. Like that's out of the question. That's not happening. So it's like a lot of people like I kind of spoke to, like in correspondence for like I guess a few weeks, and then after a while I would get bored. But then there were certain people that like I would meet, and like they seemed really interesting. I went and I met them in person, and like we became friends. Or like there was one guy I kind of dated for a while I was there, but it didn't work out because I didn't want anything serious. So, but other than that,
Okay, what's your username? Your ID on this website?
um, well, right now it's Buffalo Soldier only because that's one of my
Oh god.
it's one of my favorite songs by Bob Marley, and I didn't really want to have. Initially, I had my name, but I felt if I'm interacting with strangers, I don't want people to know my identity. They already have my face. They have my location. I didn't want them to know my name as well to like stalk me on Facebook. So I just changed it to Buffalo Soldier because it's one of my favorite songs.
Okay. That's good.